Alright, let's talk about that moment your paycheck hits your account. What do? If you're like most, it's probably less strategic planning and more immediate gratification. But here's the kicker. Those first 30 minutes after payday, they're critical. They can either pave your road to financial security or leave you counting down the days until the next deposit, stressed and broke. In this video, we're diving deep into 7 essential steps you must take right after getting paid. This isn't about restriction. It's about taking control, minimizing financial anxiety, and building lasting wealth. Step 1. Pinpoint your core baseline expenses. This is where the majority of us stumble. We fall victim to a cognitive bias known as the mental accounting or the illusion of wealth. This psychological phenomenon tricks us into feeling flush when we see a lump sum, like a salary deposit, without immediately factoring in our ongoing financial obligations. For example, a $2,000, $3,000, or even $4,000 deposit might feel like a windfall. However, that feeling quickly evaporates when you start allocating funds to rent, utilities, groceries, and savings. Without a clear understanding of these expenses, it's easy to overestimate your disposable income, leading to financial strain well before the next payday. To combat this, we need to determine your core baseline, the minimum amount you need to cover essential living expenses. Most people operate without this crucial figure. This isn't about counting every latte, it's about stripping away the non-essentials, the entertainment, the impulsive purchases, and the little luxuries. Calculate your fundamental, non-negotiable expenses. The goal is to keep this baseline below 60% of your take-home pay. This 60% rule frees up the remaining 40% to strategically manage your finances and design a life you love. Think of it this way. The 60% covers your survival, while the 40% funds your aspirations. First, you'll allocate a portion of the 40% towards your financial priorities. Then you'll use the rest to craft a life that resonates with your values. Why the 60% rule? Let's expand on this. The 60% rule isn't arbitrary. It's rooted in the idea of creating financial flexibility. By limiting your essential expenses, you create a buffer against unexpected costs. For example, if your car breaks down or you face a medical emergency, you have a cushion to fall back on. Moreover, adhering to the 60% rule encourages mindful spending. When you know your baseline, you're less likely to make impulsive purchases. You become more aware of where your money is going, which allows you to make informed decisions about your spending. Beyond the baseline, the power of allocation. Once you've established your baseline, the real magic happens when you start allocating the remaining 40%. This is where you prioritize your financial goals and design a life that aligns with your values. Financial priorities. This includes paying down debt, building an emergency fund, and saving for retirement. By allocating a portion of your 40% to these priorities, you're laying the foundation for long-term financial security. Life design. This is where you invest in experiences, hobbies, and personal growth. It's about using your money to create a life that brings you joy and fulfillment. By following these steps, you're not just managing your money, you're taking control of your financial future. Step 2. Establish a rapid response reserve. Imagine facing an unexpected crisis, a sudden car breakdown, a hefty medical bill, or job insecurity. How would you fare? Shockingly, a significant portion of the population lives perilously close to financial disaster. In the UK, nearly 40% of individuals possess £1,000 or less in savings. Similarly, almost half of Americans have less than $1,000. That means a substantial number of us are just one unforeseen expense away from spiraling into debt or making difficult choices. We need to position ourselves far from this vulnerable group. Take the baseline expense figure you calculated earlier. This amount should be the first priority your paycheck protects. Before pursuing high-yield investments or ambitious financial ventures, establish this emergency fund as your initial line of defense. Why? Because effective personal finance isn't solely about optimizing numbers. It's about mitigating financial anxiety and fostering a sense of control. This buffer is more than just money, it's peace of mind. Accumulate this exact amount and deposit it into a high-interest, easily accessible savings account. You want your rapid response reserve to grow with interest, yet remain readily available when life throws curveballs. This fund acts as a financial shock absorber, shielding you from the unexpected. A common misconception is that all savings should be invested, but liquidity is key for true financial resilience. Step 3. Attack high-interest debt with precision. High-interest debt acts as a financial leech, draining your resources faster than any savings account can accrue interest. Any debt exceeding an 8% interest rate is costing you more than you're likely earning elsewhere, demanding immediate attention. When tackling high-interest debt, the avalanche method reigns supreme. While the snowball method, which focuses on paying off smaller debts first, provides quick wins, the avalanche approach targets the debts with the highest interest rates first. This strategy, though potentially less emotionally gratifying initially, is the financially optimal path, ultimately saving you substantial money over time. Rank your high-interest debts from highest to lowest, prioritizing anything above 8%. Remember, if your savings exceed your 1-month emergency fund and are earning less than the interest rate on your high-interest debt, a common scenario, it's prudent to use some of those savings to accelerate debt repayment. This might seem counterintuitive, but it significantly reduces the overall interest burden, allowing you to retain more of your hard-earned money. Step 4. Leverage employer-sponsored retirement benefits. There are 2 tax-advantaged accounts you absolutely need to utilize. We'll delve into the second one later, but for now, your primary focus should be your employer's retirement matching program. This is essentially free money being offered to you for your future financial security. Here's how it works. For every contribution you make, up to a certain percentage, your employer matches it. If your employer offers a 5% match and you contribute 5% of your salary, they will effectively double your investment by adding another 5%. That's an immediate 100% return on your investment, a rate of return virtually unmatched by any other investment vehicle. The second significant advantage is that your contributions reduce your taxable income. By investing pre-tax dollars into your retirement account, you lower your current tax liability while simultaneously building long-term wealth. This translates to more of your paycheck remaining in your pocket today, while also growing tax-deferred for your future. Therefore, consult with your HR department to determine, firstly, your current contribution rate, secondly, whether you are maximizing your employer match, and thirdly, the investment funds your employer offers. While you may not have complete control over investment choices, most employer plans provide a selection of risk portfolios tailored to various goals and risk tolerances. Although the fees associated with investing through an employer-sponsored retirement account may be slightly higher compared to independent investing, the free money provided by your employer and the tax savings more than compensate for any marginal cost differences. Step 5. Construct a robust emergency fund. Now, this is slightly deeper than what we discussed in Step 1. It's time to elevate your financial security by establishing a comprehensive emergency fund. Aim for a buffer of 3 to 6 months' worth of your essential living expenses. This fund should be sufficient to cover job loss, unexpected medical bills, or any other unforeseen life events, eliminating the stress of worrying about immediate financial obligations. While the prospect of saving 3 to 6 months' worth of expenses may seem daunting, remember that by eliminating non-essential spending, your core expenses are likely lower than you initially perceived. To determine the necessary amount, take the fundamental expense figure you calculated in Step 1. Multiply it by 3 for a basic emergency fund, providing short-term stability, or by 6 for a more robust financial cushion. If you work in an unstable job, freelance, or operate in a high-risk industry, or are planning a significant life or career transition, aim for 6 to 9 months' worth of expenses. Step 6. Initiate long-term wealth accumulation. The cornerstone of long-term financial prosperity lies in early and consistent investing. The magic of compounding growth, where your money generates returns on its returns, amplifies over time, creating exponential wealth. Here, your primary objective is to identify a tax-advantaged investment account tailored to your country's regulations, designed to incentivize long-term growth. In the UK, a stocks and shares ISA provides tax-free investment growth, while in the US, a Roth IRA offers tax-free retirement savings. For investment strategies, simplicity is key. Index funds and ETFs are excellent options, diversifying your risk across numerous companies and making them suitable for investors of all experience levels. The fundamental principle is to begin early and maintain consistency. The longer your capital remains invested, the more effectively it works for you. Step 7. Strategically allocate funds for enjoyment. If you are currently addressing steps 2 or 3, prioritizing debt reduction and emergency fund building, it is advisable to temporarily curtail discretionary spending. Understand that this is a transient measure designed to accelerate your progress towards financial stability. Typically, I recommend allocating 20% to 30% of your take-home pay to discretionary spending, achieving a balance between present enjoyment and future planning. However, if you're focusing on establishing your financial foundation, concentrate on resolving those initial steps first. Once achieved, you can fully enjoy your discretionary funds. Therefore, once you've progressed to steps 4 and 5, allocate at least 20% of your income towards discretionary spending. At this juncture, you've addressed significant financial risks and established your financial priorities, enabling a harmonious balance between present enjoyment and future planning. The rationale behind allocating a percentage of your income to discretionary spending is twofold. Firstly, it prevents overspending by establishing a clear limit. And secondly, it allows you to enjoy your expenditures without guilt, knowing that you're also meeting your other financial targets and life goals. Ultimately, the objective is not solely to accumulate wealth, but to utilize it as a tool to create a fulfilling life. Now, if you want to learn how to achieve financial success, then watch this video next. If you made it to this point in the video, please like and subscribe to the channel to see more content like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.